Hello, my name's Scott. This is my second guitar lesson video. In this series, we'll be talking about ways to approach and play piano parts on the guitar. Last week we looked at a tune by The Fray where we used the capo to access a higher register of the guitar and use fingerstyle technique to copy the part. This week's selection is the Hunter Hayes song Wanted, that is going to do some of the same things, but it's different in a couple of ways and presents some interesting technique challenges that are worth a look. So let's dig right in. I'm capoed up on a standard tuned guitar at the 5th fret, and we'll be using two chord shapes, C add 9 and G. When you're listening to piano and thinking about how you might approach a part on the guitar, important to remember the piano's got two hands, and if you separate those parts, oftentimes there'll be a logical way to find those two separate parts and put them together on the guitar. Listening to the Hunter Hayes tune, you can hear in the piano there's two elements. One is an arpeggio, and that's going to be the upper part of the chord. When I have capoed at 5, my 3rd and 4th finger on the two highest strings at fret 8. And we can hear the arpeggio by playing the 2nd string, 3rd string, 1st string, and then the 3rd string again. And this 4-note figure continues throughout the entire riff. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now with the picking hand, what I'm doing is using middle finger to play the 2nd string, index finger on the 3rd string, and ring finger on the 1st string. And I chose those fingers because it's going to keep our thumb available to play the other part. Now, what the piano player is doing in the left hand is a simple bass note figure that uses the major scale in C. Frets 3 on the lowest string, open 5th string, 2nd fret on the same string, and 3rd fret. I'm going to turn my metronome on because I want you to hear something about the rhythm of this part. I have my metronome set at 80 beats per minute. And here's that left hand part, and notice that not every note falls on a downbeat. Okay, now that we've taken a look at the elements of the piano part separately, we can put them back together to form our guitar part. The 4-note arpeggio, when we think of it as beats 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and, the melody notes are going to fall on the downbeat of 1 and the upbeat of 2, or the and of 2. And it'll sound like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now beats 3 and 4 of a measure are just going to be that arpeggio again with no additional melody notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that's how the parts fit together. The other melody notes are going to fall exactly the same way, and we're going to do the same pattern to complete the entire riff. In other words, each measure is just going to have two different melody notes. So the second phrase will have open A and B, and everything else about the riff is identical. Then the third phrase is going to start very much the same way with a different ending. And that is how the melody notes fit in with the arpeggio to form the complete arrangement of that part. I think it'll be valuable to practice that with a metronome just to get the feel of where those melody notes fall. That syncopation can be a little tricky to feel at first. But once you get the knack for it, I think you'll find that flows really nice and is logical, and you could even do that while singing the part. Now that we've gotten the arpeggio part together, I thought I'd also show the theme at the beginning that's played actually on the guitar. I went ahead and recorded the piano part on my loop station as a background so we can take a look at this other part. Alright, what's going on in the guitar part, we're going to have the open third string, it's a G, ringing out, and there'll be a melody note on the B string. So the first phrase of this theme is going to be the note C on first fret, and slide on up to fret 8, which is a G. And there'll be a vibrato on the note. And then back down to C. The second phrase is going to have first frets, fifth frets, third fret, and back to first frets. And I'm using a hybrid picking technique to grab the third string and the second string. So you're hearing that open G droning over these other melody notes. So again, that's pick, and then my middle finger to grab both those notes. The third phrase is the same as the first, that sliding from C on fret 1 to fret 8. And then the last chunk of this theme will have break up that open G, C on first fret, third fret, fifth fret, sixth fret, back to fifth, and fifth fret on the third string. And that's that whole opening theme. As one final performance note in this tune, as you hear the verse go on, the guitar will play some fills, and if you're going to cover the tune and earn a lead guitar roll, the go-to scale to do some licks over that would be the pentatonic scale on fret 5. Which any of those notes, fret frets 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Any of those notes will sound nice over that riff. Okay, well that's an overview of what's going on in the Hunter Hayes song, piano and guitar, and how we can take that piano part and situate it on the guitar in a way that's very playable. I find that as guitarists, there's sort of a tendency to just stick with what we know. I've looked at a lot of lesson videos, and in piano-driven songs, guitarists tend to think of things in terms of the open position chords they're familiar with. I'd encourage you, when listening to a piano part, or any other instrument for that matter, to think about, how could I duplicate that on my guitar? It's easy to stick with what we know, but by thinking about your instrument in terms of how a different instrument would approach something, it'll improve your ear, you'll listen for more details, and you'll develop some problem-solving skills. How can I fit this chord shape or this arpeggio on the guitar in a different way? And it'll broaden you and challenge you with some techniques that you wouldn't have otherwise considered. So in coming lessons, we'll look at other songs that have different interesting elements to them, and hopefully will assist you in your playing and be fun and challenging. So keep an eye out for my next video, and thank you for watching.